as a guide. So to start the handheld, it takes a few moments for everything to power up. You just hold it down, the power button in the lower right-hand corner, down for a couple moments. The power button for the laser is underneath here, protected, so you can't accidentally shut it off.
Okay. So there's a green light on that side.
Right.
Yes, it's there.
That comes on there. Okay.
It's a toggle. There you go. But it's difficult purposely because so it's not accidentally hit in the middle of a tally. While this is booting up, and you'll know when it's booted up because it'll go to a Digi-Tally screen. Let me go over a couple things.
Okay.
So the battery, there's a spare battery pack. You charge right here. The battery comes off with 2 screws. Hold on to the spacers. They come
Oh, okay.
off. So
Okay.
the battery
So
is simply.
you don't lose
Unfortunately,
the.
I got not enough hands. So the spacers. It's a lithium-ion battery pack.
Okay.
Okay, this is a battery pack.
It is battery pack.
What kind of battery do you have here?
Well, it's our special battery. With that, this is a custom made for us. When the batteries begin to lose their life,
Yeah.
you can actually send these back. It may not be economical for you, friend. If it's in the States, I would say people send these back, and we can refurb and put new batteries inside.
That's what I'm saying. Can we adapt this one with another batteries, like the lithium batteries, lithium batteries, heavy duty, energized long life batteries?
Well,
You see here?
what we could do is, I mean, these are long life batteries, but what we could
when you say
do.
long life, for how many jobs can each of these batteries take?
Well, usually it'll work for about 4 hours.
Okay.
But we have a spare battery, and then
but
ship it with
but if you're going to do
one
a
extra battery.
lot of tallying work, it might be more than 4 hours.
well, remember, the laser is not being used the whole entire time. There's a timeout on the laser, so you're not using the battery on this. The batteries on this is powered by its own battery,
Okay.
and this is powered by its own battery. You see the timeout.
Okay.
So if you're doing,
I'm just checking that if we go back home,
Right.
we're back in Nigeria, and we need to adapt our batteries, or maybe the conventional touchlight batteries, or it's a camera batteries. Can we put them here? In which case, I can further get these screws off, get this pack off, then see the batteries, then look at the battery, then and therefore put the batteries in there.
We would prefer you did it. We ship this with 2 batteries, and we can, if you want to, we can sell you additional batteries for it.
or right. I mean,
Because, there's some concern about opening that.
sure. And you can charge this either while it's being used on here or off of here. So
Let me ask you another question. Are you charging this on 240 volts or 210 volts?
It's
One-
one-
110,
but-
110,
but
60 hertz.
look at the bottom of it. I think it's a dual voltage. I think.
Yeah.
See, I can't see it.
110.
Yeah, but it's
110 for this particular one.
He will be looking at
110 to 240.
240.
110 to
240.
240.
All these-
I
We have
didn't
that
realize that.
all these transformers are usually dual voltage.
I didn't know that.
You just need the right adapter. You need the right adapter. That's
What
all.
is the standard voltage in Nigeria? 240.
240.
220,
60
240,
hertz,
yeah,
60
60 hertz. Yeah.
Oh, not 50. It's actually
No,
60.
not 60
Okay.
hertz.
Europe is 50. That's why I said that.
That's what I'm saying. So I don't know what is this unit. Is it 60 hex or 50 hex?
Well,
The
this is
charger
60.
is 2, yeah. I'm glad you put those.
220 to 240, 60 hertz.
Yeah, don't mind me. There are a few questions.
No, I
That's fine. That's
I
fine.
didn't realize that.
Okay. So this is, since we did that point, this is the charger. This is laser unit only
Laser.
for this. And then the other charger, and you
That's it.
you ordered a second, so we have a spare charger. We just have one on each battery.
Yeah.
And the other
This
charger
is 120, 100, 240 volts.
right. Most is all interchangeable. And this is field controller. The field controller is the handheld. Okay.
And it is 100 to 240 as well.
Yes. Yes.
It's 50 to 60 hertz, so it won't.
They're all global now.
I didn't realize that.
Okay. So a couple things here, since we're just going over general items. This is a sun shroud. you know, if you decide not, you know, you use a sun shroud, it'll still work, no problem. This serves two purposes. It will help keep the direct sun right out of the laser. The laser's in here.
Okay.
I'm just trying to aim first. This is a transmitter, the little spot. The big one is a receiver. This also serves a dual purpose because with this on here, and all bolts are metric except for one bolt, which I'll tell you what the one bolt is. Everything's metric except for one. When we started this company, we decided we were going to be metric as a global company. If they do this by mistake, you don't damage the laser now.
Okay.
If you go on the ground, you hit the stand, you hit the shroud and not the laser.
Okay.
That's
That's
just to protect it.
Well, this is was designed maybe handle, but the whole point is that if you
You just
go
don't hit that.
and you go into a rock in the ground or a pipe,
I don't know what people do in Nigeria, but I
It'll-
think people
it'll-
in the
it'll
US
sit like that.
will tear 'em up.
Yeah, nice. No,
okay. So that wasn't the purpose of that, but that's
It's worked out that way.
yeah, that's how it worked out.
yeah, good idea.
Okay. So, let me keep explaining some of these general things. This is the V that's going to rest on the main body of the pipe.
Yeah.
This is going to go into the last thread for a thread, what we call here a threads off measurement. So, it's just for the makeup thread. So you can adjust the height, you can adjust this for your level, depending on the size of the pipe, because this V is always fixed. And this is what you poke the last thread with, okay?
For your makeup tally.
Can we bring your pipe?
We'll go out there, we can go out there.
Yeah.
Want to take everything out there?
Just take those two items. I'll grab the target.
Let me bring it out so that it will be much easier for us.
He's a brand.
Darlene! Should we put you
Which is, I'm going to need to connect to your network later so I can show you how to connect to us. Which is your network here? HCR? Any of these?
No, Safeway. Go down. It's not there. Sure.
Safeway guest?
Guest, yeah. Use carrot 55. CARROT 55.
Oh, it says it's disabled. Data
No, you're
encryption.
not on Safeway.
Then you have to put the password there.
Go back. It wasn't Safeway. Safeway.
Is that one on?
I'm not sure if the encryption works. Let's try it. What is it?
Try, password, lowercase pass. Pass,
Be right back.
lowercase.
That's it?
Word in capital.
Okay.
Is that in capital?
It will be in a second though. And I'll show you why we'll use this later. I'll show you that.
1, 2, 3. I believe that should be it.
If I can't get it connected here, I'll just do it through my phone.
No, it should be
They're connected. There we go.
connected here.
Okay. Okay. You'll see why later. You'll see why the connectivity is good because I can do remote stuff. You'll see. What if Phil got and get?
No,
Oh, right. Okay. Oh yeah. Right. I wasn't paying attention to what he was doing. So I explained that. Actually, let me go over here. So I explained that. Another thing we have is this is all threads on attachment. So this is threads into the body, into the bottom, and this is you want to do end to end. You grab the end of the pipe. You don't count for the threads. It's also used for a drill pipe as well, right? End to end. Whereas this,
We're going to up dope all over, so we don't get it right.
they're quite dope. Whereas this, I can't tell which the last thread goes to, but you're going to get the last
Let's
thread.
go to the shoulder on that.
So the 0 is going to be the center of the handle.
Pump that pipe, Steve.
What's that?
Turn it on, hit something.
Well, I hadn't gotten that far with it.
Well, let's do it.
Okay. So what you do, what you you do is you start Digi-Tally laser. I'll redo this again, but you can take a picture of this. It'll take a moment. Okay, they come with the main Digi-Tally laser screen. First thing you do is you go to the job screen, and the number of things you can put in here. The most critical thing you want to put in there is the job, because that's how the field is named. That's what the files are named. The other stuff is ancillary. It's extra things that go into the report. So I'm going to put this A, B, C, D for now.
Okay.
Okay. If you're starting on joint 1, you can leave it at joint 1. You can also have this is something new. You have a sequential serial number. So you might have joint 1, but that may have a serial number be 1,000. You can say, I want this to be serial number 1,000, and that will automatically increment as well. We'll go through all this again. I'm just an example. Hit new job. Back to the main screen. As long as the laser's on, two things you can do in here. Either hit the read laser button or the red button here, and that wakes it up. And that's a live reading here.
See this? Right here.
Okay? And then the second time you hit the red button, trigger button on the laser, or you hit the read laser, it'll lock in the bottom. And that's an obnoxious noise purposely so you can hear it 45 feet away. Okay? So that locks.
It's 5.76.
Right. Now this is feet. Now you guys are going to be doing meters or feet?
In feet.
Okay, you're doing feet. All right, so we're fine.
In feet or in meter?
Okay,
You can change.
we can go to meters. Right now it goes to 3 places in meters, but we can do meters. I've been told that you actually change that.
Mostly in
So now I can move this all around, but the bottom number is locked in. It doesn't move anyplace. Hit the black button, there's a little record here, and add it to the list. This button is the same as the red button. The save button is the same as the black button. So if something happened to these buttons, you have the touch screen. If something happened. Vice versa.
Backup. Oh, yeah.
Right, vice versa. So now that's the first one on the list. Now, if you noticed, we were at the bottom of the plate. You want to try to get up at the middle of the plate, but that's because I
It's
didn't.
such a short pipe.
It's such, well, and also it didn't level it out. I mean, you can see I'm bringing the level up now. And those blades actually adjust out as well.
I was showing you that right here.
Yeah.
Okay.
So those blades,
This is the end I always get, because you'll have to.
those blades were designed specifically to be thin so that you can try to get it in between an end protector if you have the room. You can adjust them down for different size pipe.
Okay.
Okay?
So if you have a drill pipe 658, you can adjust that.
Right.
If you have 5.5, you can adjust that.
Right.
If you have a 4 3/4 drill collars, can you adjust that? If you have 8 1/4 inch drill collars, can you do that?
As long as you get to the shoulder connection, you're fine.
No, you'll get the shoulder connection, but you won't be able to
have that grip.
To have this grip. Yeah, because if I look at 8 1/4 inch drill collars, yeah, you know what I mean? That's pretty large.
Well, yeah, but
Yeah, but this is why
it'll sit higher.
It will sit higher.
It'll sit higher.
But as well, this will typically be higher.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Also,
Now, Phil.
because-
No, it's okay. It's,
No, so bring it over. I want to show you a point. Can you just grab this?
Yes.
So it'll fall? You know, it'll sit higher. This is just meant to stabilize on the pipe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But these slide, I'm doing this a little bit out of order.
Okay. Okay.
So these slide so that if you have bigger pipe and you want this to go down further to grab the edge of the pipe, you can slide them.
Okay.
Okay.
The other thing is, if these are getting in the way, you can slide them all the way up and get them out of the way. So now you can just eyeball
That's
with the edges too. You can get them out of the way if need be.
Yeah.
And the way I normally hold this is I normally take and hold. I'll go over here. I'll show you how I normally hold it. What I normally do is I do this, so that I'm always I'm square against the pipe. That's what I normally do. You can do
That
this.
was the first thing I checked with him as well, to be sure that you are square with the
Right.
pipe.
You can do this, but
And
people are
flush it
lazy.
perpendicular.
If people are lazy, they're gonna start doing this. So I usually tell people, just
Square with the pipe.
just square it up and hold it there. It's not real hard.
Yeah.
So I usually try to shoot for around the middle. If you're off the middle, that's fine. You can read the black as well. It'll read the black.
Okay.
Okay?
Just mainly, you need to be on the target and not the wall or the tank or whatever.
Yeah. You want want to switch here a second?
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you, Phil. Okay.
So because it's touching the wall now, so the reading is
Right. It's
increasing.
well, I mean, it's,
Yeah.
it's a real measurement, but it's just there.
Now, what we also want to watch is see the error light. You want to make sure you aren't getting an error because, obviously you can get wrong reading. So the error, I'm trying to make an error. If I go to see how it goes red, too close. It gets so close, I'm trying to make an error. My hand's in there. You want to see, don't want it red. You want it green. You want to see no error. In most cases, you're not going to have the problem with an error.
Yeah,
At 45 feet away, you don't have that problem. When you start getting close, sometimes you get a reflection that's in the right dimension and you get an error.
Let me let me ask you a question.
Yes, certainly.
Now, you have, where is the Alexa? You have 10 point,
It went to sleep. Here they go.
okay, now you have 10.21, which is that distance to that place.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you could have,
That's live.
this is like an anonymous. Yeah, can this happen real time when you're in the feed, where you have your tally measured and somebody activated this one and used this system, and it gives you a measurement that is really not real.
like
Like a dummy, see, if the initial one was 5.73.
Okay.
Now, this is not a pipe, but
Right.
it's giving me a measurement.
right.
Yeah?
That's correct.
So,
And someone records it by mistake.
and so,
Okay,
and you record it by,
I'll go through that.
and you record it by mistake.
By mistake.
So when you record
Let's
it by
do that.
mistake,
Let's do that.
it adds to your length, but meanwhile, it's really not.
It's not
Okay.
the
It's
actual.
not the- it's not the
thing.
actual.
Yeah.
All right.
Then you have to edit it
I
out.
just did that. I recorded it by mistake. Okay? I purposely, I recorded it onto the list. So I'll do it twice, matter of fact. So trigger it. Okay? You gotta wait to hear the noises and wait to see that joint come up there.
So he's done it twice. He's measured
So-
an inaccurate measurement twice.
So what we're gonna do is, let's say I just realized I made a mistake. That I recorded it, not just brought it on here, but I recorded it on the list by mistake. I don't care what's down here, I care what's on the list. This is a memory. Edit. Let's say I'm just gonna delete the last one at this point.
Join two.
Well, in this case, I'm gonna delete the last one I just did. I just realized I made a mistake, for
Yeah.
example. Okay? Now joint 2 is gone. Go back to measure. Now, I knew that's there still, but I'll get to that in a second. So let's put the plate up there now, Phil. Please. Okay, so now we got joint, we corrected that last joint we just did. Whoops, joint 2 is wrong also. Edit. 2. You can either manually write the number in here, which I don't recommend, or what you do is go back to measure. You take a reading. You don't record it. You just lock the number in. You see the difference? Go to edit, and this is all explained in the manual as well. I have 2 copies of the manual for you, by the way. I gave you 2 copies.
Okay. Thanks.
Replace laser. Now it says 5.74.
Okay, let me ask a question.
Certainly.
If I move this unit, if I move it,
Sure. And it just went to sleep. It goes to sleep in 60 seconds, but we can change that. Oh, it did go to sleep. It was hitting the wall. Okay.
no, put it there.
Yes, sir.
Measure.
Okay, so it has measured this.
Okay.
What I'm trying to say is, is there any default function, yeah, in which case, if this is not on the thread, yeah, you won't get any measurement.
No, you.
Yeah, you understand what I'm saying? Because
Yes, sir.
anybody can decide to say, this pop joint is 5.73 feet, and now it's 5.373 feet. One bastard will come and shift it instead of measuring the second pop joint. He wouldn't measure it. Then he just shift it here until.
Oh,
okay,
they cheat a little bit.
This
You don't have people that would do that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, we do too.
Yeah. You
There's no
understand?
real.
So, is this so that you have a default function in which case this must be before this can take a measurement, it must be on the thread.
We do not have that function.
Yeah,
in.
I recommend that.
can I call you back, sir?
I recommend that you have something like that.
We
Can I call you back, sir?
the problem we typically have.
I don't know, but it's just
no. The problem
because
I
if you can
typically
measure
end
on the
up
body
with-
and all that, so it doesn't necessarily need to be on the thread before it can.
That's-
Yeah?
that's-
So
that's-
Well, there
simply there has to be like a default function to say before this thing can work, or before it can give me a measurement, it must be
Oh,
pinned
okay.
to box.
Well, there actually is another attachment which
Yeah?
you
It
order,
must- you know what I'm saying?
that I'm
It
going
must
to
be
show it to you,
pinned-
which
it
may
must be
help,
pinned to box.
dummy proof it a little bit.
The problem we typically have is the guy holding the target will not be paying
You see,
attention, and they don't hit the
the
target.
tally errors are very, very, very expensive.
Oh, yeah, I know, I'm in that business.
Fully expensive errors that you must not gamble with. Yeah.
There's something built
So-
into the software that reviews the data beforehand, that actually will give you a bar graph of the averages.
Well, you know what,
And it
let's,
lets you know if
let's do
you-
this, let's put a big,
Clearly,
let's put a
there
big
must
one in
be-
a purpose.
There must be some, well, let's say some do's and don'ts here.
Yes, sir.
For you to make this.
Move it out of the way.
Because
Purposely.
you and I will be different, yeah? People are different.
That's correct.
I purposely am putting a big one in there, just because of what Phil said. I want to show you how when you can review it, and you can see that there's this big spike.
Okay, shoot 5 or 6.
I know. Yeah, what I'm saying is, like, if I can measure from the pipe, I can measure from here, I can measure from here,
Absolutely.
then it's not, there's something we need to improve on. Yeah, it must be a default function to say, before this, my measurement can be taken, yeah, this equipment would have
Has to
been
be from
from
end to
end to
end.
end, pin to box.
There's where we have to have a certain amount of faith
Yeah,
in our
it must be
people.
pin to box, which is the ceiling area to the ceiling area, where it shoulders out, the way it shoulders out.
So,
Well,
but,
there's-
but,
let
but maybe what
Let me show you something.
Yeah, otherwise, some bloody bastards can take measurement from
there and still tell you that,
I'll tell you that.
you have the right
Surely
to,
you. Yeah, well, it happens.
I'm kind of getting ahead of myself here because this is out of order, but we can go through some of the basics here again. When you want to video, just the basics. When we're doing this, we're dealing with the makeup thread by grabbing the last full thread, right? We're putting the point on the last full thread. In South Texas, we started getting requests for an attachment they can put on the end and account for the last thread without having to teach someone how to find the last thread. I mean, when I've gone out to rig sites, you know, I've sat there for 5 minutes arguing with a hand which is the last full thread, and I usually win. But
This is a shoulder connection here.
This is a shoulder
Right,
connection.
I realize-
It depends on, for example, this is
Right.
a P110 connection. If you go to Tenaris connections, yeah, like Tenaris
right,
connections, premium connections, yeah, you will have different ceiling areas. If you go to buttress will give you a triangle,
which is why we
a triangle reflector
Right.
where you are supposed to show that. But
which is why we did this.
yeah, if you go to some terrorist connections like terrorist 533, 563, yeah, trade connections, you will see two different ceiling areas.
That's what this,
Alright, so-
you could do two different things. This, if you know the makeup of your Tenaris connection, you can,
This is 0.
Uh-huh.
And went to, okay.
Okay.
So
And then-
so you lock it in.
Fine.
So now let's take some dummy proof out,
Yeah,
okay?
fine.
So now you go up against there, and this is still 0,
and you
but now you have 4 inches here.
Fine.
but your guy still has to,
Yeah.
you got to
He
still
has-
trust
he has to
his
set
guy.
this.
Change this one, you put
Right
it,
here.
you put it here.
Yes.
Then this one comes, yeah.
It comes off.
That's
what
what I
I'm
got, yeah.
Yeah, this one becomes your dummy, your
Right.
default function to say, yes, it must be
Yes,
here
exactly.
before you can
Right.
take your measurement on. Good idea.
Okay?
Yeah,
And then this, if you just want to go to the shoulder,
fine.
you can grab the shoulder now. There's something more you have to do in here, which I'll get to in a moment.
Okay,
But that's why I wanted to stop you and show you this.
okay.
Okay.
Okay, and then this is an adjustment screw to level it out.
If you drop me before,
Okay, go ahead.
yeah, because my appointment is 11,
I know.
10:30.
11 is, well, your parents when?
10:30.
Then I will make it. Don't worry.
You're gonna be late. No, you won't, we'll come back for it.
Yeah, no, it's yeah, because I know you must have thought it through, because otherwise you can have some bloody idiots, yes.
No, we don't have that in here. We don't got
They
that
take
problem.
one measurement of a pop joint and they come back and yeah, rather than giving you another measurement of a pop joint
they'll
that
go
is on
right
the
here.
bag somewhere, they'll come back and say, put it
Oh,
here.
hell, that's
Yeah.
right there. That's
So are you
fine.
coming back in another
I've measured
30
another one,
minutes?
this is the second one. Yeah, that was great.
No, we don't have that. No, we never have that.
But we also have some features here where, but we also
Go
have,
right here, come back. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I got the measurement here.
but we also have some features here where we can identify what I call an accessory tally for the cup joints and whatnot,
Hello?
and the regular tally. You can give them the same job number, but you
Yes,
know
sir,
one's
so,
accessories,
check-
and you one know is the main joint.
No, but-
You use this for drain
Pardon,
pipes, for
sorry, sir.
tubing,
Yes,
for
sir.
casings. And
It was originally started for casing,
Right, sir.
but we can use it for any tubular,
Able,
essentially with the
Okay.
different accessories.
yes, sir.
You know, you put this on here, on the back, essentially
Yes,
you
sir.
can use for about any
Yes.
threaded connection.
Yes.
Put it wherever you want. This is basically is what we made
edge of
for
the lawn.
8-round threaded casing is what that is. That was
which
originally.
is like the
Yeah,
buttress
the
connection.
travel on
Right.
Friday.
Yeah,
We just
put it here.
another
We don't
30
run a whole
minutes.
lot of buttress, but we'll end
Oh,
up
I'm
with a
thinking
lot
yes,
of 8-round, just an 8-round thread.
Okay, yeah, okay.
You run a lot of buttress and a lot of
Yeah,
canaries,
those
a
are-
lot of
butters
high,
and
Short time?
NKKSD,
No, Friday is just
tenor
crazy.
connection.
Because there are a number of
all those
details
$9
that
threads.
I gotta get into it, so.
Most has to be.
No, but it's really nice. It's a good, it's a good one, yeah. But we need to take it to the field and see the practicality of this, yeah, while on the field.
Down here, at least here, especially in South Texas, we've become fairly popular compared to the hand tallies, and there are a number of reasons. First thing is the repeatability and accuracy compared to taking two crews doing the hand tallies is better. The other thing is that with the digital data, having got to this point, now you take the data.
But you know that there is in some tubulars, yeah, the manufacturers of the tubulars specify a certain value that we call the makeup loss. Yeah, there is a makeup loss value. Yeah, is that taken into account in the design of this program?
Well,
Yeah, if you
Only
understand
with
what I
this.
mean?
well, actually, there's two ways to
Yeah,
account
you
for it.
understand, for some premium connections, like the
There's two ways to account for it. There's two
Yeah.
ways. One,
makeup loss connection.
okay,
Okay,
one-
you understand what I mean?
no, I understand. This is one way, mechanically doing it by adjusting this bracket. Okay, that's one. That's one way. The second way is, and you may not have seen this feature, that's why I said it.
The offset set.
The second way, you can go to the setup screen. Let's say you had a 4-inch makeup loss.
Yes, I put it there,
So I put 4 inches in here, and every time I take a measurement, if I had this on here, right, and I'm measuring
Let me call you back in 10 minutes, quick.
from the end,
It
it would take off the equivalent of
that
4 inches in feet off every joint.
Mine, yeah, I appreciate that, but my suggestion would be that depending on there must be that must be a very key, let's say, factor that you need to let people who are going to be using the system know that they need to always ask for the makeup loss of the pipe that they're measuring, depending on the manufacturer's recommendations. Because otherwise, that makeup loss, depending on the length of the pipe, depending on the depth of the distance, I've seen that adding up to a couple of feet.
Oh, yeah.
Sure, if you got a few hundred joints.
That's
Yeah,
correct.
right.
A few hundred joints, you're going to like 15,000, 16,000 feet. That can come out to some reasonable
Yeah,
footage.
oh, a lot of footage, yes.
Yeah.
That's why,
Yeah.
I mean, there has to be
That's
someone
correct,
that involved in the tallying operation that knows where they're gonna measure to and whether they're gonna put the makeup loss here or they're gonna measure to the makeup loss.
Yeah, because
We got several
provided
different
there's
ways
a
to do
provision,
that.
there has to be a provision.
So you can
where
get it for
put
less?
That manufacturers.
You won't be able to
make
do it for
loss
less.
value
Yeah.
On this.
But
But-
you do this in inches right there.
Right, but if you put the makeup loss in there and you measure to here, then
You're gonna be
then
wrong.
it's gonna be wrong
So
because
it's
it's
gonna
gonna
make
make
up loss.
what's the
and
best
you
you
measure
can
it
do,
here,
do it for?
there.
then it'll be right.
Yeah, yeah.
That's,
So,
it's
no,
a matter,
that
certain
has
matter
to be
that
I'll
people
call you back.
understanding
No, I
what.
appreciate that, but that has to be clear during your presentations to say yes. When you're measuring from here, you have to apply. the makeup.
Let me confirm
Very
with the
clear.
owner
But
before
we
you post
recommend
it.
you do that because
Thank you.
people, you might not know what the actual makeup loss of that pipe is, depending on the OEM, yeah, of the,
Right.
of the.
And the reason I would rather, we usually recommend people do it this
This
way
one, mechanical.
instead,
rather than monkeying around with
instead of
this.
this, is because they know they have to adjust this.
This is great, this is.
This they can forget to do.
Yeah, this is great. I would
Yeah.
do this.
That's the,
Yeah, I would use this to say, this is what it is, apply it, and I do that. The gentleman knows that this is what it is.
And
That way you don't
we have
have
a marker,
anybody
I mean, a
messing
marker for
around
the
with
center,
that
so
deal.
these points are the center.
Okay.
See, the points in the center. So this is the best way of doing it, but when you change thread types in the middle of a job, you
Yeah.
have to make sure you adjust this.
Yes, you have to,
You have to.
absolutely, yes. That's looking good. I guess it's when you have the combination, the strings.
Well, he just
Pipes are different.
might say
So that's
itu
one way
ada
of doing
beli.
it. We talked about more than one way of doing it. So that's
Intinya cukup now
and
people
I'll show you, this is bolts right
then
off.
buat jam apa apa. Kamu dah speak mau pada.
So
Moron jam ni bank lah.
basically, where we wound up is we edited a joint, we deleted a joint. The some of the joints you run are now listed on the bottom.
Here's your running tally right
The
there.
running tally at the
I
bottom.
can't see, but I think that's what it
And then this is a special serial number, if there's a serial
Okay,
number that
okay,
you add,
move on.
like serial 1000,
Kita yang mana motor.
1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005. Okay. Let's say we're done. We just close the software. But we now realize that we left a joint on the ground that we forgot to tally. Am I still being recorded? Yeah. Okay. So we left a joint on the ground, we've got to tally. Fell off. So we left a joint on the ground. You want to add a joint to it. Open up the software. Go to open existing tally job. Now I gotta look at this too. You find the job, A, B, C, D. Unfortunately, with the small screen, there's not too much real. I mean, you have to compact it. Hit enter.
Yeah, this screen is meant for very young men who are
is. Young fellas.
very young fellows. I mean, I'm sure the young fellows, you are not willing to pay them very well, so they will double up the
Hey,
price for you.
these are progressive lenses now too. I'm not. I need both reading and distance now too.
Okay.
But that's your job. So you hit the red button once to wake it up. Okay.
Short joint.
Lock it in.
Then it
Now
added to
you got
that
joint
tally
5.
there.
Okay. Now, there's a mode that you can make this run in, if you want to go quicker, called Rapid Tally. I can turn on there, and I can save it if I want it always to come up every time you open the unit up. And what the Rapid Tally does is it makes the record button do both functions. Put you
Just
down here
records
and
it every
records
time
it.
you hit the button.
Okay. Okay.
So it's a one-button operation.
Yeah. Yeah.
It depends. This is all personal preference.
You know, that is better. That is quicker. So just
It's a
put the
little
rapid
quicker,
in
but
and
I don't
put-
know if it's better. With my people, it's not better, because I need them checking the numbers.
Right, because
before
with
they
this-
store the numbers.
Well, actually, you
It
still
depends on your people.
you can still hit the red button, the red trigger button, and look at the number to lock it in. But you don't get the noise anymore because it's not supposed to do that. But you can lock it in. Now, when that thing goes to sleep after 60 seconds, you wake it up with one of the buttons. If you don't want to go to sleep in 60 seconds, you can set it for 300 seconds. You can set it anything you want. Here, I do
Just
60.
for battery life.
It's for battery life. I mean, you asked
On
me
the
how
laser
long,
itself.
because you're doing joints, stopping, you're doing joints, you're stopping, you're doing joints, you're stopping. This is about 8 hours on this. That's about 4 hours of tallying. That's why you also have a spare battery for that. I'll go over the spares. Now, let me do next year. If you decide that you're going to attach this onto this for what I would call a threads on or a collar, if you're using this, you want to change this mode to threads on. And the reason being is, you got it?
Yes, I got it.
This is offset from the center. There's a gap.
So it's just this much.
And we deal with a calibration change. So when you do this, it changes the calibration automatically. This is pre-calibrated for this.
Okay.
So if you look at here, calibration settings, it has a calibration of 0.778 as an offset, okay? And that's how you adjust your calibration too. You can go in there, you can change the calibration if you don't like calibration.
I don't know how it works internationally, but in the United States, we get two different calibers. We
See,
get
now it
tallies
says
from the
732 for
trucking
the
company,
threads off
And they'll
calibration.
measure
So that
as much as
automatically
they can.
changes
They'll
it.
measure in the protector, the end of the protector. And so that's how much pipe you buy. And then we have to run the other tally that is your makeup tally. That's the main reason for that.
The other thing you can do is,
Is that how yours works, or do they give you an estimated running tally on your pipe?
No, we have an estimate on running tally, because we have what the average length per joint is. If the average length per joint is like 10 meters, you know, we just say, okay, look at it, maybe 400 joints by 10 meters.
Yeah, 4,000 meters or something like
to
that.
quickly do that.
Okay, yeah.
Because you still have to come and do this.
And that's, but
Yeah.
they wanna sell, it seems like the pipe yards, they wanna measure all they can
Yeah.
to sell it to
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
And then, you know, you don't get as much effective downhole pipe as what you buy,
Yeah.
because of the
Yeah.
makeup losses
Yeah.
essentially.
now, Biola, you can actually use this whole idea of this user offset for the makeup loss in here. If you want, if in like a yard, if you want to measure end to end with the caps on, if you want to estimate about what the caps are adding, end caps are adding to the length, you could put both on, you know, you could add this
what you got
and that.
here.
It's not gonna be
And
perfect,
basically add
but it'll be
that
close.
and that, yes.
Be as close as you can get with end caps on.
Yeah.
So that could be done, but again, that's using this, all right? The other thing is that you can password protect the setup screen. At some point with users, you probably should. So you go in here, change password, put the passwords in, enter, save default, and then now there'll be a password in there. So I didn't do it, but if I did that, there'll be a password in there. And this will say logged out, and you have to log in to get to that
To
page.
change those settings.
Because we don't want people changing the calibration settings. That's the most critical thing, unless they know what they know what they're doing. Now you're going to get the standard. There's a standard that we make up that is basically a tube, and 2 bars in the middle, and it collapses into this big. And you've ordered that standard, which I told you is not ready yet. We're having a few of them made, and we're going to have it certified, so you know exactly what it is.
Then and give you a length standard, so you
And
can.
this is really good. This is, I must say, this is good. It's good. Yeah. I'm saying this for the first time.
Okay, so
Yeah, number one is going to be quicker to quickly do your tally. Number two is you don't need additional two and a half persons to
write them down.
yeah, and it's all digital now. And I'll show you how to get this on a USB stick, which is the most common way people do it. So nobody's doing this. Let's say you've done that job. All right. Go to Digi-Tally report, and this is what I want to show you about your anomalies. You can see your bad joints. It'll list all the jobs in there. You pick the job you want, highlight it. Now, it already is telling me that the average joint length is 4.94. Okay, and one of them, there's a small bug in it. See that? That's wrong.
Yeah.
There's one that's off, but that's the wrong number.
Yeah.
It
That-
says 6
yeah.
then.
that's a
Yeah.
bug that has to be
Yeah.
fixed. I'm aware of this.
Yeah,
But I just cancel through it. I just acknowledge that I have some joints that are wrong.
yeah.
Time to go, you're late.
Is someone over there?
Oh yeah, Carol. Ola. Yeah. Go to the good. Yeah, yes, ma'am.
Okay, so here you go to review.
Okay. That's
So
it.
now you can see that,
Original.
oops, I screwed up.
Somebody is in the back.
So you got 50, 100, every 50 joints, because you gotta be able to look at them. So you can go every 50 joints forward to back. So you got a 400 joint job, you go.
But that was
50,
wrong
50,
until
50.
that right there.
But that's why we did it, so it stands out like a sore thumb. Maybe one's right, but at least you look at it. Okay? So at this point, you can go, you can actually edit a number manually if you had to. But usually at this point, people skip this a lot of times, but I always tell people not to, because I think this is important to be able to look. I mean, it only takes a couple minutes to do. So at this point, you want to make the report. You can reverse it for total depth. So joint 50 can be at the top of the list. It won't be joint number 1. We can go 50 down to 1 or 1 to 50. So if I hit reverse TD, it'll make 2 reports, 1 to 50 and 50 to 1. It'll reverse it.
How do you put the accessories?
Oh, you know what? Okay, let me go back then,
Yes.
okay?
The accessories.
Yes, the
Pattern,
hardware.
The safety valve, the hardware.
Right.
Okay, let me go back.
Do
Do you want to incorporate those in your tally as you're taking the measurements?
That's correct.
You do?
That's correct.
Okay, let me explain what
Yeah,
we
you
do,
have
and I'll
to-
explain
you
what
have
the
to
intent
measure
is.
those ones.
Right,
So-
but
so
I
do
didn't
it.
know if you wanted to do them as an accessory and then put them in there, or measure them as you go.
You measure them as you go.
Okay.
Okay, the two ways we can do this. We don't have the ability, as you're going, to check, this is accessory, this is a joint, this is an accessory, this is a joint.
No, the length will tell you. Yourself. What we do
Okay,
is
so we'll just have to go
yeah,
to
you
the
just
rack.
measure them. The length will tell you. But see, when you just display your graph and all that, you see some of those accessories are short.
Right, okay.
Very, very, very short.
Well, the way that we intended this to work is that, I'm gonna make a new job just to show you what we intended. I'll call this one A, B, C, D, E. Last one calls A, B, C, D. That means A, B, C, D, E, okay? I'm just gonna, new job, don't worry about that box yet, I'll show you the box in a second. So let's just take a few dummy joints. I can carry away the measures. Okay, now let's say you put your accessories off to the side, and you have your accessories. You want to measure accessories now. You can make, no, I'm sorry, job. Go back to the job screen. You can leave this job number the same, so everything is associated with the same job number. And you can check the button that says check for accessory tally. And what that'll do is that'll make, and you'll see when we download the data, you'll see the difference in the files.
Another 5 minutes, you already arranged it.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
In another 5 minutes.
So it'll
You think so?
No, for him, he has to be
Yeah,
someone.
I have a medical appointment.
Uh-oh.
So it'll give him this job number, but it'll put an underscore ACC on the end for accessory. So you'll be able to associate those accessories with that same job, with that same order.
Okay.
But you'll know it's an accessory tally. So later on, you can go into Excel, Microsoft Excel, and you
put 'em where you
get two,
want
and you
them.
can copy
I'll
them
put it there.
and put them exactly.
Or you can or you could just measure them in order that you know you're gonna run them, but if you don't know where you're gonna put them, you can put them in there later.
Okay, yeah. What we do is we just measure as we go. Just
Okay,
Sure,
you're
back
measuring all,
part of the
okay.
tally.
Okay. 'Cause a
So-
lot of times, I guess here, people don't know where they wanna put the stuff, so they'll need all their pipe tally, and then they need to calculate where they're gonna put their different jewelry. Or
That's true. That's true.
Sometimes.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's why you can do it either way. if
Yeah,
you
we
want.
can work with, in order not to mistake, what we do is we just put them in where we want to have them as we tally up.
Okay.
So after you hit the accessory, you hit new job again. So it'll make that accessory job. So just tally a couple.
Oh, my jacket.
Hello?
Oh, my jacket.
Okay, so that's an accessory tally. So now, when we go into reports, we're actually going to see two reports. Unfortunately, since that accessory is a new feature, we don't differentiate them in the report yet, but you'll be able to tell because,
No, you need to do that in the report. You have to look for a way to make the tally, the accessories, a separate tally for the accessories.
That's what he's got.
that's what I just did.
It's a
But,
separate tally for
what
the
you'll see
accessories.
is that we don't label it yet accessory in here. You'll see that there are two tallies. One is 7 joints, one is 1 joint. And it's very obvious in this case that the 7 joints, it was a job, and one of these was accessory. We don't have these labeled yet as ACC on this screen, but the file is called ACC. You'll understand when you'll see, and the report's made, but there are two different reports. Okay? So let's go back and,
Can I go?
Yeah, hold on.
Hey,
Thank you.
Where my that comes out from the.
if we don't see you again, we'll be at the OTC. Come by and see us there.
I will be here, by God's grace.
You will be here?
Oh, yeah.
Good. Okay. Well, we'll be at the OTC.
We'll
Come
be to-
and we'll
be
talk
the
some more.
OTC. Yeah,
yeah,
Thank you
Yeah.
for your time.
but this is nice.
thank you.
Yeah,
Well,
it's nice.
good.
Yeah, I appreciate your effort, guys. So it's
Do you want me to give her a brochure real quick?
The what?
A
Some
data?
paperwork,
Here.
a
No,
brochure.
I'll collect them from him. I'm coming back.
Oh, you're coming back?
Oh,
Okay,
yeah,
I'll leave you with the,
I'll
I'll leave you with
get
the
it,
field.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. So let me just kind of go over this part again. We just, let's pick the one with 7 joints again, the one that's obviously wrong. So it's obviously wrong, but we're going to let that go. Okay, because we say it's okay. If you didn't like it, you can go into edit, you could manually pick the joint you want to change and change the number, or you could go back into the laser tally software, open that, and edit one of the values with the gun. You understand the difference?
Yeah.
Okay. Shoot, I'm sorry. I'm talking, doing, and I'm not. What I meant to do was I meant to make the full report. Okay. So, Let's say you're not sure if you want them reversed or not. I would check this anyway. Next you do is you'll create a report. You have the opportunity to edit any information. Leave the job number alone. Don't change the job number.
Give me that.
Thank you. The next thing you do, let's say you want to get the data out onto the USB stick, which I think is going to be the most common thing, Mike, that you're going to want to do.
So you can go to the computer and use it. So I would drop you off, then when you're done, then I will pick you up. My time is there.
So there's a short little special cable,
Okay.
right? You always want to put, and that's why we have a label on this. You don't want you leave this in while you're doing a tally. You always gotta have this out while you're doing a tally. It will cause a problem if you leave it in while doing a tally. And you always want to put your USB stick, when you put it in the right direction, on here first, for it to be recognized. Okay. So if your USB stick has an LED, you should see it light up when you start it. Next, I hit the continue button. You see this flash, so I saw that go on there. So it made the reports for that job. That one job we picked up on here and on here. Okay, so we'll look at this in a moment on the computer. Try to pull it out from this, just like any plug in the wall. You know, eventually you keep pulling it from here, they're going to break.
Okay, y'all go review the report. I'll put the machine in.
Okay, well, one other thing.
Hello? I'm good. Yeah. Can you call me back in another 30 minutes, please? In the middle of something, or I can call you back. No problem, sir. In 30 minutes. Thank you.
Sorry about that.
Okay, so the other way of getting the reports is syncing this to a PC, which I probably need to go over with you. You know, if I can do to your notebook PC, for example. Or if you get Wi-Fi access by turning Wi-Fi on, or if you had like a GSM cell data card, you can turn GSM data on as well. That message will go away in a second. Once the Wi-Fi is on, I don't know that you're ever going to use it this way, but because this is going abroad, I want to show you this anyway. Once the Wi-Fi is on, you get the sync data. It'll sync it to a cloud server that's associated with this particular unit for your particular customer. The serial number automatically hits, when this unit hits the internet, it always goes to a certain IP address with our cloud server.
Oh, okay.
And that allows us to remotely control it, which I'm going to show you, so you can see that we do it. It allows us to give you remote assistance. It allows you access to the data anywhere in the world, actually. Okay?
Hola. It's
think it's this back.
Memorial Man of Spirit in Sugarland.
Okay.
The executive building. No. It's the same building.
I'm gonna go ahead and shut this stuff
There are
down.
two buildings, not the first, the second one. They are
Do
both
that
in
up.
the
Do
same
that up a
compound.
second.
All right.
So
Sorry about that.
let me look at this on my computer. I'll show you. I mean, does it pay to?
So all these are in the manual.
It is.
Okay.
It is. And it's 2 copies, one for you to keep and one to go with the unit. Okay? That's why I gave you, normally you only do one, but I gave you 2 copies of the manual. While this is booting up, the Allen keys are included with the kit to put these on. When you put this on, we put it on and we force it up against the bolts to square it up. Put it on and go up, you know, so that you're against
You
the
can
bolts.
say, yeah.
So and then you lock it in. And obviously you just want, it's all metric, and obviously you don't want to make it over tight, just enough to let it slide.
To move
And this is a
around.
height adjustment so that you can
You
get your
can
height.
sit, yeah, okay, get the height of the
Right.
on the pipe.
Which will level it with the pipe.
You can, like I said, there are multiple ways of looking at this. You can, there's a USB cable, and you can install, and this is in the manual, you can install Windows Mobile Device Center. You can sync that to your desktop for clearing up files and things like that. You can do it remotely. Let's go with the data right now. So here's what the data would look like. While I'm here, let me connect to this because I want to show you the remote afterwards too. Why doesn't it come up the stick? Oh, but it was PASSWORD.
1, 2, 3.
Okay. So, why didn't I find my USB stick? Come on, find my USB stick.
Sorry.
Why isn't it finding this? Oh, well that should pop up there. There it goes. I don't know what that is. Okay, so I want to show what the ports look like. It's just important to understand the multiple ports, because I want to see so you know what to look for. That's all. Okay, so basically we had why didn't the ports go into this? What did I do right with another ports? Their ports didn't go into this. Is that still on, Phil?
Mm-hmm.
The report's stinking onto it. These are reports I've done before.
Your 7-job report. I saw it blink.
That's what I thought too. You close that is.
Which one was it?
The top one.
7th one?
Mm-hmm. Fine. Review. Okay. Make it cancel. Let's do a cancel. Reverse TD.
Oh, you want to man,
Okay. Create report. No, that's fine.
I don't like that.
Well,
I know.
Two reports. It should be on there.
Yeah.
Unless the stick is full. Here it is. I don't know what happened this time. But here it is. ABCD, date and timestamp. Okay, so every file has a date and timestamp. You cannot overwrite a file.
Okay.
Because there was a unique date and timestamp. Okay? So you're going to get the file which is called ABCD date timestamp.txt, ABCD date timestamp.xls, and then we reverse the tally. So you also want to get ABCD date timestamp underscore TD for total depth, .txt and .xls, okay? You're also going to get a file called reports ABCD date and timestamp, and you'll see what they look like here in a moment. And I can leave these with you, But the whole idea is that the regular ones are just tabular reports. Your joint number, serial number, length in decimal, length in no decimal, and your running tallies. The one that's reversed, it just goes 7 down, 7 6 5 4 3 2 1. And then you also have the report. The report is a, oops, that was wrong report. The report is it's called report, ABCD, is 5 columns by 20 rows. It's a printable report. I don't think you're going to be using that. What I think you're going to be using is ABCD, date time stamp.xls. It'll open up in Excel. It's really a tabular in a text file. It's not really a true Excel file. So what's going to happen is when it opens up Excel, Excel's going to give you a warning. It's fine. It's not a corrupt file. It just knows it's not really a true Excel file. And it'll open up right into the cells. So that's fine. So you got all your data is in cells.
Okay.
So typically here in the States, what the consultant for the oil company will do is he'll just copy the fields he wants and paste them into like WellView or whatever they use, so they don't have to manually enter the data into their drilling program. They just copy and paste.
Okay. That sounds.
Okay. Now, what I wanted to show you, and we have the hand on. Is this on? Yeah, good. But what I want to show you, and this is more just so you know how we do it and how it works. It's not necessary for you to do it, but I want you to understand what can be done. You'll have access to this too, but we can probably do this remotely, you and I, when it comes to doing this. You have a login on the cloud server. Right now, this unit is registered to OffServe. If you had units to another company, we would like to know what kind of company it is. We can give them each their own dedicated FTP folders.
Okay.
Okay? What I'm going to show you is how we can remotely access this unit. I just want you to see for your own eyes that we've done it so that anywhere in the world, as long as you have a decent internet connection, you have to have something that's high enough speed for the data and the graphics to go through. So OffServe should be, oh, no, I'll see you guys. Oh, you need to turn the Wi-Fi on because when we open the tally off, the Wi-Fi went back off. All right, so let the Wi-Fi turn on. Just coming online now. Okay, so now this unit is live. I can remote control it. And this is how we do in the States here. We've done most of the training. You'll have a log on for this. You won't have as much access as I do, but you'll have access to your units only.
Okay.
Okay. I don't know. You want to go through some gory detail now. You want to know that this is possible, right? I mean, I could go through it, but I don't know that it's gonna sink in right now. So
No.
I'm not being sarcastic.
No.
All right, so basically, that's the unit there. So if I do this, it will turn the Wi-Fi off. So I have a button called Training. It opens up Digi-Tally without turning the Wi-Fi off. So right now,
So We're
Right.
seeing the same screen.
It's the same screen. So by doing this, I can update the firmware when we get updates remotely. I can help train. I can put a little red dot on the screen. So you see a little red dot someplace on the screen. Yeah, there's a little red dot on the screen, so you can see where I'm going on there, et cetera, okay? So this has been a really good feature. So I just want you to see for yourself.
People at the right time of day can be trained.
Well,
on it
that's the key.
internationally.
Over that, yeah.
Right, that's the
Yeah,
key.
but it's either gonna be real late over there, or real early over here, or something.
Yeah, that will really help, because there's so much to pick up,
All right, so we can
Until
train
you
now.
really get familiar with the whole process.
I mean, we need a voice connection too, but at least that we can. I mean, I've helped people in the field when they've done it through their phones and they've had a problem for whatever reason. But you got to have the good You have to get the good access. Now, let me get out of this. Remember that data? Remember when we sync this? Remember when we hit this button before? And what we did is we synced the data before.
Mm-hmm.
I'll sing again just in case. I should be able to go to the FTP site, and you are off. Serve. I'll think of this later. And O. Little f, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, should go right to your data. If I did it right last night. So this is all the data, not just that. This is all the data that's on yours. So if you had this on a rig, you could look at this anywhere, and you could look at that tally, for example.
Okay.
But they had to have synced it, though. They had to have synced it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So USB stick, the sync. A USB connection synced up either through one or two different softwares. If it's XP or Windows, it's two different softwares you use. And that's also how you can clean it out when you want to clean out old files. Eventually, we're going to keep adding to this. We're going to have a feature you can clean out files on the unit.
So how much memory do you have on this?
I mean, you can hold quite a number of jobs. I mean, it's not like 5 jobs. I mean, you can hold how many people hold? Like 100 jobs?
Yeah,
You know,
100's not a question at all.
It depends how big they are, but if they're 40 joint jobs, I mean small, the 400 joint jobs, they start adding up. I would make a regular.
Some people that never clean their machines up. I think I all know that company.
And that does cause a problem eventually because you start having problems. You're trying to save stuff, and
500 jobs.
you may not know you're having a problem. So it really should be a regular maintenance where I would advise every week that you back up. Depending on how often it's used, weekly, bi-week, every 2 weeks, you not only delete them, but you back up the stuff. And I can show you how it's done, but I think you're familiar with Windows Mobile Device Center. Yes? No?
Mm-hmm. No, quite.
Here,
We won't.
there's a spare stylus pen. No.
Screwdriver. No, don't use a screwdriver.
An eraser, a pencil eraser will work. I use a pencil eraser all the time.
Plastic end of a pen will work. It won't scratch it, but anything else will scratch.
There's a screen protector on here, by the way, and there's a spare one in there as well.
Okay.
So we advise a regular schedule of. I'm gonna turn the laser part off. We advise a regular schedule. For cleaning the files out. Alright, give it a second to find this.
No, that's all right. That's all right. We'll beat. Let it go.
So this is going to want to make a sync relationship up because I have not yet synced this unit to my computer. So it'll open the mobile device center. If you don't have it, you have to install it. I have links to it in the manual. If it's XP, it's one version. If it's Windows 7, it's another
So
version.
can you run this on the
Mac?
Mac? Or it has to be
There
on
may
the,
be a way of syncing this to a Mac. I really don't know how you sync a Windows mobile device to a Mac, honestly. There has to be a way of doing it. I don't even own a Mac. Eventually, I may have to, but figure this out. But I don't know yet.
So what will work perfectly is to have the window
Right.
to work with the device. Okay.
So basically, that actually synced pretty quick. I'm surprised it synced so quick. So basically,
All the data on handhelds now on your laptop, correct?
well, actually, you know what? I'm going to do something different. I want to set up the relationship. Again, 'cause I'm talking, I'm doing, I'm not, I missed something. I want to set up a relationship so it automatically goes to your desktop. So let's try this again. So I want to set up device. You only have to do this once for a device on here. And this is a matter too. You only want to synchronize certain things on this device because you don't want your contacts from your PC winding up on devices going to use in the field with your hands. The only thing you want to sync are the files. Okay? I'm going to call it. I'm going to erase this later. You can put a name to the sync relationship on the screen. It'll do a sync. Every time you plug in, it's going to do a sync also. Like there's an initial sync and syncing. Now I'm going to have a folder on my documents in RR. I would call it Digi-Tally, serial number, etc. But I just did that for the sake of convenience. The files for Digi-Tally are in the Digi-Tally directory, and this is all the stuff on there. If I wanted to clean out everything we did today, I could erase all this, and it'll erase it off of here. Do you want me to do that? No, or leave it there. But basically, if I erase this, you don't erase the folder. You just erase the documents inside the folder. Erase the folder. It has to be recreated. I mean, you can fix it, but it has to be recreated. You erase the documents inside the folder. Okay? I mean, it's not very hard to do. So that's basically three ways of doing it. I suspect the USB key is how you're going to do the data. I suspect this is how you're going to clean out the files for now. Later, we're going to have a way of doing it on the handheld itself.
Okay.
But a few key things in terms of the tally. Get out! I can't lay down without that long.
Is it popping and cracking?
A few things, key things that people make mistakes often on. First off,
Thank you.
when people use,
I'll put it in a box right there, Steve. It's in the box.
all right, and I said this before, I'm going to reiterate this. People use this,
The connector.
they'll put this into the unit and then put this on.
Yeah, you
It
won't
doesn't
be able to
always
read
it
it.
doesn't always recognize the USB. There's something
Yeah.
special on how to recognize it.
It has to go in first before you
Right,
have the
okay.
other hand plugged in.
This is a common thing I get in the field. I'm like, this is probably what you've done. Take it out, put it together. If it's a new key that you've never used with this, you may have to wait a couple seconds for the computer to recognize it, which may have been the mistake the first time. We didn't wait long enough and didn't recognize it. The second time we did it was fine. The next common problem that people do. Where's my little cap back?
It was laying right there on the
I
cover.
got it. I'm absent-minded. The next common problem that people do, that's all your stuff, I'm going to pack it up for you, is that people will take and put this to sleep. And I'm going to do it, so that puts it to sleep. Well, here's the problem. When you turn it back on to wake it up, it doesn't always wake up the serial RS-232 data connection to the laser. So this might work now, but it may not work. People go, open the software, but no laser light turns on. So this is how you get to turn it all the way down. That's how you turn it all the way off.
Okay.
And then you power it back up. That's the second most common mistake. People call and say, I don't have a laser light. Is the power on? Yeah, the power's on. But I said, did you put it to sleep? Well, we just tapped it. All right, that's the problem. Turn it all the way off. I mean, this is common things that, I'm used to hearing. There was one other common issue.
Well, all those are, well written in
Well,
the
this,
manual.
I haven't read, I think, in the manual about this. I make a note about this, but they're just going to make that mistake, on their own, and they're not going to necessarily, people aren't going to read the manual, you know this.
I know.
You know that.
Sure they will. Has anyone ever read it?
But it's always a good reference. I mean,
Yes,
when
when you
you
start
run
having
into
problems,
trouble,
then you get the
you
manual.
go back to it and
Yes, I mean,
Start flipping
there's
the
certain
pages.
software changes that are not in the manual, like every time we make a software change, we don't always update the manual. We'll do that as a bulk item at some point. Accessory-wise, we're giving you a coil cable if you want to use this off of this. If you want to use it in your hand.
Does this just pull this in it, and you can plug that other cable into it?
okay.
It's a little spring-loaded deal there. Yeah, it's harder with that, but yeah, spring-loaded deal there. Another accessory that we would put in the kit, not many people use it, but some people do, is you want to use the handheld off of there, you can always clip it to this. This locks in, put in your belt, and you can put it around the handheld. Okay? We just always include that. Some people like it.
Okay.
I explained about the chargers. One charger, labeled, laser unit only. Were you taking a video at that point? I don't know.
Okay, yeah, I got
Okay.
it. Yeah.
Allen keys for the
To
attachment.
tighten the for the attachment.
A little flexible strap to put in the back unit for hand. One with buckles to go on top, to go in your coveralls if you want to use a hand unit separately. In the case, we have the spare battery. If you buy a third battery, there's also another space for a third battery in here.
Extra handheld battery?
The threads on attachment sits right in here. If you decide you want to use this all the time, thank you, and you want to leave this bolted, this will fit with it on bolted. You may have to thread this in, you may have to slide this in a little bit, but it'll fit in here bolted. If not, you have to adjust it to the right spot. But if not, it'll fit right there, so you can leave it on or off, okay? This is a spare battery for the handheld. In the back of the handheld, there's a little quarter turn latch, open the back up. This has not been charged yet. I just didn't have time to charge it. There are two ways of charging this battery. One is inside the controller. The second is, and you bought this, and it's kind of bulky, but it's the only way to externally charge this battery. There's a cradle.
Yeah, like the normal.
Right, but instead of putting that in there,
It's easier
you put the battery, it sets up the battery in the back. It's the only way of externally charging that.
Charge it that way.
But the laser battery you can charge on or off the laser.
Okay.
Doesn't make a difference. You can use it when you're charging, matter of fact. Not that you're going to be doing that. And then, of course, this is
Which end do you want me to leave
point.
on there, Steve? That
Wait,
one?
The point
which-
if you don't want to use a.
which you want left on there for now. Do you care?
Hey, it doesn't matter. Just put it back. No, put it here.
Everything's off.
Now, but by all of the, is that the power off now? I think. Okay. All right, so it's a nicely fit case. These are a new style case, and we just realized something after shipped here. This has become unglued. Everything fit in there, but it became unglued. I don't know quite what to do about it, or just very well, but it became unglued at
No,
the
that's
case.
fine.
Take some construction adhesive maybe and put it in there. So this will fit in here.
has to protect it, right?
Pull it from. And then the whole idea is all accessories, we got everything in that, really? Okay.
Except the flash. Is that for us?
USB.
Oh, no, that was mine.
Okay.
So the idea is that everything will fit in here. Actually, I did it back. Just now. Oh, you know what? What happened?
It's okay.
You know what? It must have gotten twisted.
Yeah.
It's all right. Just that's fine. I would.
Something must have gotten. Oh, I see what happened. It came unglued. It came wrapped around. So I apologize for this.
No, that's all right. That's okay.
This is the first lot of his new style cases we can put everything in, and they obviously hadn't gotten the gluing process.
That's all right.
down.
That's,
But that explains, I think, a lot of that.
That's Enio's try to play.
What do you think?
yeah. Everything seems.
So, I mean, when they're doing the tally, again, you have to reiterate, they have to hold a square. The idea of finding the last thread